Tiny Glade is an ultra-cozy sandbox-style building game that had its full release on the 23rd of September 2024. But does it still live up to its release day hype? Well, let's find out. Before Tiny Glade had its full release, it was first a demo, with that being released on the 30th of May 2024, giving people about 4 months before the full release day to play around with the game. And when this game kicked off for its demo, it was already huge. I personally came across it not too long after I finished my 4th year of university, and being a computer art student, this was immediately a new obsession of mine. The game came forth with some very impressive mechanics, the ability to change building sizes on a whim, add walls in any route you picked, and put windows anywhere on the wall you liked. It was quite frankly mind-blowing for me, and I'm sure many players at the time felt the same way. It really was a game changer. This procedural approach meant there was no need for any more rigid modular ways of building, and it allowed the player full creativity to choose every little detail, from the tiniest window to the grandest castle. In fact, it was actually this very game that made me really want to start sharing on YouTube. It was a huge outlet for me creatively, and with my own interests already in computer arts, it made for the perfect mix. And I felt like I just had to share that with you guys. I had to share the word, like many others, that Tiny Glade is here and it's quite frankly amazing. In my eyes, any cozy gamer lover or building in sandbox style fanatic had to know. And I loved and still do love seeing what amazing builds people create in this game, whether that's on YouTube, Instagram, or even the Tiny Glade community page on Steam. The things people create are so creative and detailed and truly impressive. It's thanks to people sharing their creations like this that people can learn new tips and tricks and refine any building skills to build whatever they choose to build. But did the hype persist past the launch day of the demo? Well, I would say personally that the hype did stay for the duration of the demo. The game kept racking up more game time and more reviews, all of which were very positive. It was a clear sign in my eyes that once this game dropped its full release, it was going to be a hit, and people were eager to see the full release too. After so long of having just the demo, things were starting to feel a little bit limiting. Players back then, they didn't have much space. We had a small circle to build in rather than the large square we have now, and it only had enough room to fit maybe a small castle or a few rows of houses. There were also other limiting aspects of this, which is of course understandable for a demo. But it's fair to say that everyone was very, very excited for the full release. Now, it's also been known in the past for some other games that a demo can be incredible, but the full release when it comes is pale in comparison. Now, I certainly didn't believe that would happen in Tiny Glade, but you just never know, not really. But let me tell you, the full release certainly did not disappoint on its release day. When the 24th of September rolled around, it was the first thing on my mind to buy it. So I clicked purchase, paid the price, and watched it download slowly, ticking from 0% all the way to 100 on my incredibly slow broadband. And when it was done downloading, I opened it up and I was ready to explore all the new features, new seasons, larger building space, so on and so on. It was a Tiny Glade lover's paradise. Any newcomers to the game who didn't experience the demo were just as equally excited and thrilled. There was more positive reviews piling up, more videos on YouTube, more insane builds as well, by the way. It was incredible. But let's face it, that's not really why you clicked on this video, right? The demo launch was great, and the full release when it first launched was great too. But what about after? What about all those months since the release of the game? Was it simply left as is, gathering dust? Or did it continue to plough through with innovation? And if anything, was it worth it? Did they pull it off? Well, let's get more into the nitty gritty. You probably want to know things such as how many hours could you sink into this game? Do the developers still care and continue to work on improvements for the game? And the community, what does the community feel like? And ultimately, is it worth the price that you would pay for the game? So let's go over these points and give you a better understanding of what it will be like when you click purchase. Now, if you're anything like me, you could sink hours upon hours into this game and still never get bored. And judging from many reviews, a lot of people feel the same way. Due to this game being a sandbox style, it allows for endless possibilities. It all really comes down to how creative you can get and making the tools in the game work to your advantage. On that same note though, if you aren't keen to find out and explore tips and tricks to enhance your builds, and want a peaceful scene to magically appear in front of you, Well, that could be a bit of a challenge. Yes, you can create charming scenes with minimal effort, but the real love for the game comes from honing your skills to see what next creation you can make. So if you're looking for a game that you can get creative with and sink plenty of hours into, well, I think the hours logged on many of these positive reviews speak for themselves. Now, this is another question you could be asking yourself, and rightfully so. After all, you want not only to have a great game to begin with, but one that sees continued care and attention it deserves post-release. Ensuring that there are no bugs or general issues is a big priority, of course. If you spot one in-game and want to send some feedback, you can actually do this directly through the game. What's more is when the game sees updates, they first releases as a beta playtesting kind of build, where people are more than welcome to participate if they want, and send feedback before it gets its full release. Speaking of updates, Tiny Glade does see frequent updates over the past year. Anything from simple fixes, extra colour swatches, or to entirely new features. And these features often do take into consideration what the players are requesting and recommending. If you are new to Tiny Glade, you may not know that not that long ago we didn't have the stair tool. All stairs were made by hand, and let's just say it's nice to know that the stair tool is now a feature. But it's these very details that show that the developers care about the continued growth of Tiny Glade. It wasn't just a release only and forget about it type of game, but one that after the release has seen constant care and attention to constantly improve the player's experience, whether that's general fixes or entire new features. What makes it even more exciting is you never truly know what could be coming next. Maybe next we'll have the ability to add characters, or even add waterfalls to our scenes. We'll just have to wait and see. But one thing is for sure, I'm always excited for the next update. Now, maybe you're considering buying Tiny Glade not just for the fun aspect of the game, but the community as well that surrounds it. Perhaps you want to share your creations with others, and find new tips and tricks and advice as you build and create. Well, that is my most favourite part of Tiny Glade. The community here is filled with some of the kindest, most creative and helpful people I've ever met. If you check out the Steam community page, you can see many people share their creations or even some tips and tricks too. And of course, people that share here on YouTube are more than happy to share their entire approach to every build, giving away their advice and experience. If you are looking for that extra community vibe, the developers even have their own official Tiny Glade Discord server, which is filled with multiple channels, anything from first time creations or works in progress, all the way to your full finished pieces. So you can share your creations, get advice, share your own tips and tricks, find inspiration, or simply just chat with the community. There is truly no gatekeeping here, and it really is an amazing community to be part of. Is it worth the price? So right, the standard price is roughly this much for the game, but right now for its 1 year anniversary, at the time of recording, it's seeing a 15% discount, but even without the discount, do I personally think it's worth the price? Well, let's think about what you are getting. Potentially hundreds of hours worth of gameplay, plenty replayability, continuous updates and new features from the devs, and a helpful and welcoming community to round it off. To me, it's been one of the best game purchases I've honestly ever made, and if what we covered in today's video sounds like a game you think you would be interested in, well, it's maybe worth checking Tiny Glade out. But let me know your thoughts down below. Are you thinking of getting Tiny Glade, or have you already been playing for a few days, weeks, months, or even since the demo days? Let me know your thoughts down below, and I do hope this video gave you a deeper dive into Tiny Glade. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.